Alright, what's up guys? So, Dr. Insanity has uploaded a video titled "A Wannabe Gangster Realizes He's Going to Jail." Yeah, that gangster lifestyle, you know, is that's where it's gonna land you sometimes. It's gonna land you in jail. So, it's one thing if you doing a movie, yeah, if my thing is this, I'd rather do a movie where I'm portraying a gangster rather than actually living that lifestyle. Because it's like, yeah, movie, your character goes to jail. I'm not going to jail. Yeah, but they end the movie off there like, oh, yeah, the you know, TMossBoss, his character or whatever, yeah, he's spending life in prison. But TMossBoss, yeah, he's at home chilling, you know, drinking Fiji water and playing video games. Yeah, I like that outcome more than, you know, than being in one of these videos and stuff. So yeah, gangster lifestyle ain't for me. You know, I'm a citizen. Yeah, that's what I would like to be referred to. So, but no, let's go ahead and check this video out, see what it's all about, guys. If you haven't, make sure you go subscribe to Dr. Insanity for more videos like this. And then that being said,
gangsters are supposed to be seen as tough thugs with little regard for the law. But what happens when fake gangsters are faced with real prison time?
I don't want nobody to tell no dumb.
These are three never-before-seen examples of when wannabe...
Yeah, there's guys out there where they ain't cut out for it, and then they're all like, yeah, so like they'll be in there and they just like, look, I ain't folding, I ain't telling on no one. And then the cops are like, all right, so if that's what you want to do, you're looking at life in prison. No getting out, no, this all like you like to do this activity. None of that, all right? You gonna be Bubba's wife and you know, that prison down the street and things. That's when they're like, okay, look, I was just a getaway driver. I myself did not get out the car. That was Reggie and that was Cleon. I was like, they did it. I didn't do nothing. So yeah, I'm like, that's usually how these situations go down and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, people. If the gangster, you gotta really sit down, think about it. If that gangster lifestyle ain't for you, don't set yourself up for failure. But anyways,
the gangsters realizing they'll be serving prison time, starting with the case of 18-year-old Conrad Troja, who in September of 2010 was leaving school when he was approached by a man holding a handgun. Conrad was ordered to take off his bag and hand it over, but when he refused, he was shot in the chest by the man. Miraculously, Conrad managed to stumble away from the scene and call for help before collapsing and dying on the spot.
That's crazy.
The suspect fled immediately, but was later identified as Edtavion Wilcox, who was brought in.
Bro, I'm not, no. You could tell he wasn't the one that actually had shot. Maybe he did, I don't know. But I feel like if he folds up and things, he probably wasn't the one that shot. But regardless, I'm like, bro, look, all that's in my backpack. I remember when I was in school, all that was in my backpack was paperwork. What else? Yeah, it was stuff that I know I didn't care for. I'm like, bro, I'd rather, you know, leave going home without a backpack and it getting taken than, yeah, you know, getting a bullet in the chest like that. That ain't, sometimes that stuff ain't worth it. People, look, if you are not, well, even if you are armed and stuff, but they catch you by surprise and things, yeah, just give that stuff up. It ain't, your life ain't, you know, less than whatever they taken and things. So.
For attempted murder. But as it turns out, he wasn't all that tough in the interrogation room.
Alright, here's the deal. You know something else happened. I don't sit here and talk to you without knowing what the deal is, alright? We've been talking to people, we've been interviewing people, we've been showing people pictures, we've been looking at video. I didn't bring you up here because you weren't wearing your seatbelt, okay? You got arrested for a burglary before and they didn't even bring you up here. Obviously, it's something a little more serious.
Wilcox is trying to remain calm and pretend as though he's got no idea what this is all about. Little does he know, his getaway driver had also been apprehended and confessed to everything. Now the detective just has to find a way to get him to confess as well.
This is going to go one of two ways. You're either going to be a guy who made a mistake, hanging around the wrong place, the wrong time, did something dumb, or you're going to be a guy that goes out and likes to shoot people for fun, okay? Listen, and before you say anything, I think you're a guy that made a mistake. I know you were there, okay? I know what happened. I've talked to the victim. The victims picked you out of a photo lineup and said, that's the guy that shot me, okay? Here's the deal. I don't think
I thought they said he died. Hold on. All right, so this is 151. I thought they said he had died. Hold on, let me go back.
And call for help before collapsing and dying on the spot.
Yeah, like, so I'm confused by that one. Like, I don't know whether he's alive, dead, but anyways.
You shot that guy because you're a bad person. You didn't mean to kill that guy. okay? What happened was you were just trying to snatch his backpack. He started fighting with you, and you got scared.
So y'all saying I shot someone?
I know you shot somebody.
Imagine you're an 18-year-old kid who got in over their head and ended up shooting and killing an innocent civilian. No matter who you are, you'll be feeling scared. A feeling that'll only be amplified when a police officer asserts that they know exactly what happened.
To it.
Wilcox will be feeling rattled now. As the cop talks, he's slumped over in his chair, implying he's interested in what the cop is saying, and as soon as he's allowed to talk, all his responses sound confused and even bewildered. The cop knows he has him on the back foot. Now he just needs to close it out.
You're 18, right? You're 18, yes?
Yeah.
This is where you need to stand up and be a man and admit you made a mistake. I know you weren't trying to kill that guy. I know that, because you're not the kind of guy that does that. You panicked, you got scared, you got in over your head. The victim's making you out to be a stone cold, just straight up thug killer. Guy that doesn't give a crap about anybody else, all right?
I could've stayed big late for this shit, man.
If you keep going down the path you're going down, telling me you didn't have anything to do with it, it's not you, who are people going to believe? Are they going to believe you, or are they going to believe the victim? They're going to have to believe the victim, because you didn't give me your side of the story.
Wilcox is being pushed into a corner. The detective is using the facts that he knows Wilcox is just in over his head, but is using language in such a way that makes him feel like he's accused of being this cold-blooded monster. His reactions to this prove just how well this technique is working.
Yeah, because, like, okay, so I'm just saying, for an example, if I'm in a situation like this, right, and I know I didn't do nothing, I'm asking for, I've been like, no, you guys better, like, where's the detective application? Because we need to figure out who actually did this. Because I ain't shoot and kill nobody or shoot nobody. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, look, I know you guys got the wrong person. I will show you proof that I was not there. But no, we're all going to be figuring this case out. Because I'm like, yeah, you can tell, like, by a person they know, yeah, they know that they didn't do anything. They're going to have, like, you know, probably laughing about it, you know, whatever and things. But somebody that did do it, then they thinking of it over and over and over again. And then, yeah, that's, you know, that's why it's like they end up folding at some point, so.
He stares at the ground, implying shame, and rubs his head in a pacifying behavior that shows how stressed he is.
A guy that sits there like you is not a guy that goes around and kills people. You understand what I'm saying? You have remorse. You're sorry. I can see it on you. You just need to take that next step. What happened in that parking lot? Did you guys plan it? Or did it just happen? Huh? I can't. What'd you say?
It's like, bro, like, my thing is this. Because that's one thing where people, when they say they don't want to go back to jail, I can't go back to jail. Then, fam, look, you know, there's many ways of making money. Robbing, killing people and all that, that's not the way, all right? You can, of course, you know, go out, get a job, find, you know, or go to school, find a career or something. Bruh, find an internet job. There's so many ways in this day and age to make money, whether you gotta do some crazy things, but it's just stuff that's not gonna land you in jail or prison. But yeah, I'm saying there's like people out there, they literally, look, there are people out there, and that's just the advice that I want to give y'all. There is a woman out there eating particular foods that's going to make her a little bit farty, right? Meaning, yeah, she gonna be farting. There are people, they are paying this woman, okay, jars of her farts. Think about that. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but I'm just saying, if people are willing to pay for stuff like that, if people are like, she's making her money that way, bro, I'm saying there should be no excuse on why you can't go out and find a career of some sorts, all right? I'm saying find that one thing that you have a passion for, besides stuff that's going to land you in prison. Find something. Think of a hobby and turn that into a business, all right? So, but anyways.
Ain't trying to go back to jail.
Don't, remember how we talked about that? Don't think about that. That's the least of your concerns right now.
In a breakdown that's far from gangster,
but that's what's
Wilcox
overall
starts
gonna
to cry and laments on how he absolutely can't go back to jail. The detective uses this moment of vulnerability to press him further and tells him he has one last opportunity to be honest, and let everybody know that he isn't the monster they think he is.
Do you say, stop hitting me or I'm gonna shoot you? Anything like that?
I was like, I had my hand like right here.
No, you had your left hand like up against him?
Yeah.
Trying to push him away?
I was trying to make him stop hitting me.
Where was the gun?
In my pocket.
Which pocket?
This one.
How many times did you shoot? What happened after you pulled the trigger? Did he fall down or
No,
was he still standing up? Where'd you hit him?
I didn't even know I hit him.
Okay. So you fired that one round. What happened?
I just froze up.
You just froze up?
And just like that, Edtavian Wilcox confessed to shooting Conrad Tohan and was sentenced to life in prison, all over a school bag. But while he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison, Demetrius Cox wasn't so lucky. Throughout the beginning of 2020, a war between rival gangs 438 and AFNF began to break out. Many shootings were reported, with dozens of deaths attributed to just these two gangs, with one of these occurring on the 14th of April. Shots were fired at a house party in Davenport, Florida, resulting in the death of 20-year-old Wolf Luma. The killer was identified almost immediately as Demetrius Cox, also 20 years old. 2 weeks later, Cox
they just transitioned. I don't know why I thought they were talking on the whatchamacallit, the getaway driver. They just transitioned over like that. I was confused. I was like, wait, like, is this has something to do with the last game? But it's okay, so it's different. It's different. All right, but
brought in on the suspicion of murder, and an interrogation began, ending in one of the most shocking moments in interrogation history.
Dang, dude.
Sure, I do.
You can shake my hand?
I can.
And I didn't shake your hand before because we weren't able to, but now we can, right?
Open and close.
Yes, sir. Number one, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed of the way just overall, your persona as it is.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate the respect. It's gonna be given right back to you, okay?
Okay.
Cox starts the interrogation out respectfully, but as the interview continues, he starts to annoy the detective by withholding information that could get members of his gang into trouble. This type of loyalty is extremely common in these types of cases, but can prove to work against you, as is seen just a few minutes later.
Yeah, but it's like, the thing is this though, if you're in a gang, that's one thing that it's like, I guess, just street smarts. It's like, yeah, if you're in a gang, you can't snitch. A cop ain't going to understand that because they come from another part of town. But on the other side of town, where the gang activities be happening at, yeah, you can't snitch. That's just a big fat no. That's something where it's like, nah, can't do it under any circumstances. I guess, like, if you come from that part of town, you'll have a better understanding of it. But if not, then yeah, you know, then it's like you trying to get that information out, but it's like, you gotta understand, two different parts of town. So
I'm not saying you went there for the wrong reasons. However, man, I tell you one thing. You know how they say, like, victims, and suspects, things like that? I thought that you were a victim.
Sure I am, but now y'all make it seem like I'm a suspect.
No. I thought you were a victim. I thought you were a victim, and I thought that you were gonna give us the justification, the explanation for what happened.
Listen.
But you come in here and you can't even with little details like that. Like, who cares? If Papa J's there, why can't you just be honest and say, yeah, he was there? He was chilling.
We hung out.
But
I got another question
what's
for you.
so, like, hard about the truth?
What's interesting about this case, though, is that the cop actually isn't 100% sure that Cox is the killer. As Cox mentions earlier, most of the evidence in the case is hearsay, and detectives could have a hard time using it in court. This is why Cox is here in the first place. If they could extract a confession, it'd make their lives a whole lot easier. But Cox isn't budging.
Okay, listen. If you want to tell me what happened, I'm all ears, man.
I just tried to tell you what happened when we watched.
Listen, look at me in my face. Look at me in my face.
You not.
If you tell me the truth, I will believe you. But there's an explanation for what happened.
So you trying to say I'm the explanation or something? That's what I'm asking.
It's like you're hearing me, but you're not listening to me. Listen to me.
I'm listening to you, but you're not letting me. You gotta break it down for me. Please just break it down.
Listen to me. Okay. I think that you might have been a victim. But I cannot believe a victim when they leave little things out, little details about that night.
Well,
okay?
Mister, I told you all I know.
Some bad happened, man. Some bad.
I understand what
and
you're
I don't
saying.
think that you forced it. I don't think that you or your buddies or anybody else, well, maybe you're running your mouth a little bit, but it wasn't justified what happened, okay?
Eventually, the detective decides that he's not going to get anything else out of Cox and calls off the interrogation. But that's not where the case ends. In fact, the most interesting but tragic part happened just hours after the interrogation was held. Later that day, Cox was released on bail, but 11 hours later, he was shot and killed by another gang member. Meaning if he had actually confessed, he just might have spared his own life, even if it was spending that life in prison. But while Cox may have kept it together in his interrogation and preserved his gangster image, the same cannot be said for Cody Foreman.
Yeah, it's like that. I'm telling you, that lifestyle, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. You hear stuff like that all the time. I watch a lot of different videos about, like, gangs and stuff, and then, you know, yeah, it's like when you hear that lifestyle, it's like, yeah, it's like, it's a dark lifestyle. Like, the thing is this, you can even tell by, like, some gang members that make it out, and just with some of the stuff that they've seen and have to, you know, deal with, it's like, they're, like, it is traumatizing. So, yeah, that's why it's just, look, that lifestyle, it ain't meant for everybody, you know, like, it's a lifestyle where it's like, you really got to, like, be mentally prepared for it, because if not, like, I guarantee and I promise you, there's probably been some gang members that have been, like, up in the middle of the night crying their eyes out just because of, like, if you got people out there that hasn't had, like, a rough life like a gang member, then it's like, bro, I'm saying, like, there's people out there that literally will break down of some other stuff, and it's like a gang member, yeah, I feel like that's a lifestyle where it's like, it's a dark lifestyle.
Cam, a gangster whose crime was littered with errors and stupidity from the very start. After his phone was stolen at a convenience store, Cody went on a tyrannical rampage around his area looking for any signs of the stolen device. Surveillance footage captured him walking past 15-year-old Deshaun Hills, pulling a gun from his backpack and firing 3 shots at the boy, killing him instantly.
Oh, wow.
Witnesses and surveillance footage helped police identify Cody almost immediately, and he was quickly brought in for interrogation.
Like I said, I ain't, you know, what I just did with the people yesterday, these motherfuckers was able to do this to me. They was able to look at.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like a phone in somebody's life. I mean, weigh the scales. This, like, what do you think is more important? Let's say somebody flips, turns around on you, and they shoot and kill you by random because they think that you done took some of theirs. Like, bro, come on now.
So I'm saying, look how they do me.
Okay.
Look how they do me. They just kicked my mom's door open, man.
Well, they didn't kick your mom's door open.
Yeah, they did, man.
No.
I was on the phone, man, with somebody while it happened, man.
We were there. We were there at your mom.
Come on, man. Well, I said, like I said, man, I ain't about that.
Okay,
I don't gang bang. I don't do, you know what I mean? I ain't with the guns.
Cody here is referring to a search warrant that was used by police to gain access to his mother's house and collect evidence. While his anger about this is likely from a place of truth, he's also using it as a way to try and argue his innocence. This is also backed up by the fact that he immediately tells the cop that he has nothing to do with gang activity or guns. But it won't take long for this facade to fall apart.
We're here because you're involved with this murder. You've told people. That's why you're here. That's why you're not in Minneapolis. Okay? We have talked to people, all right, that have put you there at the scene. There's video of you at the scene.
The whole time.
The whole time. Okay, we know why you're there.
I ain't buying it, man.
You're not buying it. I'm not here to lie to you, though. Why would I lie to you?
I ain't buying it.
You're on video. Okay, people are talking to you. You're talking to them. Okay?
You approach people and talk to them.
On the evening of the murder, Cody had been walking around the area asking people if they saw the person that took his phone and aggressively confronting people that he suspected. He was also clearly seen on surveillance footage at multiple stores and businesses in the Minneapolis area, so any arguments he has here that he was elsewhere are completely invalid.
Cody, all we're trying to do... Here's the thing. Can I just say something? If I was sitting in your chair and I had...
Dude, I got mercy, dude.
Hold on a second.
I got mercy, dude. Look at this shit.
Sit down.
Look at this shit.
Sit down.
Look at this shit.
Yep, sit down.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Just sit down for
I don't even want... Like,
here's
I'm
one
so
thing. One thing. Hold on.
I'm so fucking mad right now. No, I was supposed to... ERT, ooh, they all talking about some goofy.
I'm like, bro, what, like, yeah, you know, the thing is that when I have a conversation with people, I try to eliminate when it's like, all right, so for an example, I'm having a conversation with somebody, and I'm like, yeah, dude was talking crazy, and woo woo woo, and did I this and did. I'm like, bro, what is that, like, music genre that, like, Kanye West he did, and people was like, he was like talking about like Scoop-de-Whoop or some old weird stuff, but I'm like, I feel like if that, you know how like in some songs where it's like somebody, they'll be singing or rapping, and then at a middle portion of the song they'll be talking, and then they get to like an old R&B song for an example, that dude will be singing his heart out, right? And then just out of nowhere he just starts talking about like a heartbreak or whatever and things, and then he gets right back to singing and hitting high notes. Like I feel like that's what that was, but in that music genre, I don't want to say it's like skedaddle, because there's no way that could be called a music genre. I don't know, bro. I'm confused by my music genres.
Goofy. It's a murder.
Goofy.
It's a murder.
Some goofy. Like I ain't there.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna say just before we go. Okay, was that if I was sitting in your chair and I had two people ask me where I was on a specific day, and they're saying that I did a murder.
That's what Durfee did with me just yesterday.
I'm not talking about Durfee.
I'm saying if you ask me what I ate for dinner, I might not remember.
Also take a look at Cody's language and demeanor in general. Right from the start, he's been defensive and attempting to combat every single thing the detectives have said to him. Instead of respectfully listening to their points and trying to give counters to the cops' evidence, he either talks over them or just says, "I don't believe you," and fails to give any evidence in his defense. If Cody was innocent, he'd likely be doing everything he can to stay on the cops' good side and help them out by providing evidence that would acquit him. And as it turns out, he was about to start providing evidence. Evidence that would send him straight to jail.
Oh, you was at Wally's and boom, 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 boom.
You were by Wally's, absolutely.
I was by Wally's.
You were?
But y'all don't know the story.
Well, tell me.
The motherfucker supposed to be in the motherfucking face, stole my phone, all that stupid shit. That don't mean I pulled the motherfucking trigger. Just because some people say some shit, that's what it is. That's what it is. So y'all gonna go with the you here anyway. I was over at the store. I got fucking my. That's what that was.
Who jumped you?
I don't. Like I said, I don't know. That don't make me no murder. I called my big cousin. My big cousin come get me. What it look like? I said one was. I don't. Nothing came of it. You act like. Can I pull the trigger on somebody?
When did you get jumped, or when did you get your stuff robbed? Cody, so somebody jumped you for your phone, right? Did they get anything else from you? Or did you have money? Did you have
ID? Man, check it out.
In an outburst of more anger, Cody has just put himself right next to the scene of the crime and given the officers a motive for the murder. For the next 4 minutes, Cody scrambled to get himself out of the hole he just dug himself into. But it was already too late.
Yeah.
With the evidence they already had, plus what essentially amounted to a full confession, Cody was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 38 years behind bars.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you can't be going around shooting people assuming that they did something to you. And it's like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what you got going on. But it's like, sir, I'm like, you sound like you got like an issue going on right now. So, yeah, it's stuff like that, man. It's just crazy. You know, there's people out there where they, for some reason, think like somebody then did something to them and they gotta, you know, take the justice in their own hand. And it's like, bro, that ain't even the case. And now look at him. Prison for the rest of his life. So yeah, hopefully that's a lesson learned to people. You know, don't go out there and be out there trying to fight people that ain't did nothing to you, because it could have been a situation where he could have lost his life fooling around with the wrong people and stuff. I mean, in a way he did, but at the same time it could have ended in a situation where he was the one getting shot and killed. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, people, be smart if you're gonna be going out and doing those things. But anyways, yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe to Dr. Insanity for more videos like this, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys, and peace.